everyone, this is Janet from Mixed Media Mama, and welcome back. Thank you so much for coming and watching my video. I have such a fun time making this journal. This journal is really a cool thing. And it's from the brand new collection, Beautifully Worn of Elizabeth Craft of Devid. And wow, you're going to love it. I can guarantee there is just so many new and beautiful items. I just can't wait to share it. Can't wait to share it. The first thing, there is just so much in this collection, and I'm going to let Devid to tell you about all of the new items and things that go along with it. But I'm just going to share what I made. It is just so much fun. So many of you know that I am just so grungy. I love the grunge, but I love the color. I love the subtleness of the color. So I really put my unique twist to this whole thing. And I'm going to show you specifically on this front cover. So let's just show you from the front cover. It is a brand new sandstone cover. And of course I have to kind of grunge it all up. Why not? That's kind of me. So, but I'm going to really show you up close. It's a method that I have just really liked to use, using a few household items, and it's just fun. I just made it look like it's a rust thing, and I'm going to flip it over without opening it up, and there is the back. And you can see that sheen. That is just coffee. Yep, that's how I make my things look rust, from coffee. And I love, oh my gosh, this is the stencil, one of the stencils. And of course, glaze through it. So cool. And you can just really see the other stencil. I put it very lightly in the background, so it kind of just kind of blends back in the background of the sandstone cover. But I wanted that color to pop, and oh, I love those glazes. Oh, that really makes things, and it's very textured, but it's just very flat. So here is the front. As you can see, it is that circle pocket. And you can see the front, the ephemera stamping, and then what the heart flips open, and there is a picture. This, let me get it's a piece of acetate. Basically, it's just a piece of plastic packaging. Oh, sometimes the mouth just doesn't want to cooperate. And I just used distress inks, alcohol inks. Alcohol inks just kind of give it a grunginess, because I love that photo. And then it is on hinges right here, some 3 fabric hinges. Fabric doesn't wear out like paper, so and then it stays closed when you have the band like that. But when it's open, you just have to be careful. But that's the cover. Yeah, I just loved it. It really was it was kind of a collage of pictures from the ephemera book, stamping and then coffee dyeing, and kind of the same way here too. Just so cool, so cool. When I open it up, and there is, I'm going to see if I can come in a little bit closer. There we go. Did this circle die. Of course, I stamped the background and coffee dyed the background and used this as a pocket, as it should. But look at all of the splats. I just love that grunginess. And the shiny circles is also alcohol, but using the circle die in the collection, and then the die paperclip, that was just genius. And I used part of it up here and the rest down here, and then a couple pieces of the ephemera pack, and a brand new oval eyelet. And there we go. That is just, and it sits right in there in the pocket. Isn't that cool? Can't you just see if you use the same type of idea from putting your own picture? And it doesn't have to be this small. It can be, you know, quite a lot larger, but it just should give you a nice little idea of how to display using that pocket. It's just so much fun, so much fun. So in the collection, you will see that there is one of those circular pages, and let me see if I can get the exact, it is rounded pocket page, and I used a little bit different. There is a nice die in that rounded pocket page set, and it will allow you to pull back and reveal what's underneath. You'll see it when you know, if you get that die set. And so I just kind of made it collage, and I glued this edge to the back. So it just became a full page. And that was something very unique. And of course, I cut this page out of a piece of the ephemera, and then I just collaged all the way through. And then we have rub-ons. I put one of the rub-ons on underneath to just give it a really unique but grungy. And of course, I did a little bit of coffee dye in right there too. And that's just so pretty. You know, you can see the elements, you know, close up, and I just love that. I cut the little man out there and posted him, and really nice, really, really nice. Very well done, David. And of course, I really kind of stepped out of my comfort zone, because usually I kind of stay into the blues, purples, grungies. So having this pink, and it's kind of a purplish, but pink, I love this. I just use a circle from the same set, from the oval page, the rounded page, and I just loved having that. Well, I love that little girl, and just collaging all together. And it just shows you know, you do the stamping, and then you do the rub-ons, and then you can collage over it. The nice thing about rub-ons is that you can stamp on top of them. These rub-ons are well quality. I really love these rub-ons, so neat. And a little piece of the ephemera out of the ephemera pack. Just so cool. So I am going to get a page here to show you that you know, as many of you know, I love the different levels. And so this page right here, I folded the page a little bit different, so that gave me a short page. And I just really, I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to show it to you. I really took a lot of the Notebook Fragments set, and I just collaged them all together. You will see right here is a tab. You will see right here is underneath this piece right here. Here is another piece, and here is another. I mean, so I just really layered and layered a paper clip, lots of rub-ons, the film strips, rub-ons, little piece of fabric, and there's just another piece of rub-on. It's very monochromatic, but it also brings in your eye when I use the circular stamp, and then put a little tiny rub-on where that girl was putting or doing something against the wall with her mother. And creative minds are rarely tidy. Love them, love them. So that just is a really nice monochromatic page. This, I love both of them because they just flow so well. This one is just a journaling page. In this one of the stamp sets, you can see I use broken china, oxide, and I stamped it on top of the stencil, sprayed it, and flipped the stencil over, and that's how I got this. Oh, it's just so cool. Made a little pocket out of one of the notebook fragment pieces, added a little cheesecloth, stamped the stamp and cut that out. That's your journaling space. This one was a fun one. I knew I wanted to have the notebook fragments as a pocket, but I did the same thing with a broken china over onto this page. And then I took one of the stencils and put a very thin layer of texture paste, the Distress texture paste, opaque, through, and behold, a little blessing came. My stencil still had some vintage photo ink from it, and it made my texture paste a little grungy without even me trying. Isn't that just such a sweet treat? And of course, Fussy cut that out, put these on to hat pins. I call them hat pins, but I'm not really sure what they are. I think Tim Holtz had them years ago, and I had them in my stash. So, and that is just to really showcase that you can put them as a standalone feature, you know, as I put my tweezers behind, and they're nice and tight. I just stuck them through this little pocket right here. Stamped, put a lot of rub-ons there and the notes. Made a nice little collage. You can see the rub-ons right there in a picture. That just goes right underneath here. Oh, and here is one piece of the ephemera pack, and then this little, I call it a ticket, and then the stamp of the tin, and that goes right there. But you can put it, that's just an example where you can put pictures a unique way. Maybe you just want the stenciling and a nice little collaged area for the pictures. I mean, it's totally up to you, but many ideas of how to use those pieces. This was my initial investment of the oval eyelet setter from We Are Memory Keepers, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So this is one of my favorite pages right here, just because of the red heart, the look, the whole thing. You know, you can see in the background, you can see in the background, I took the stencil that had all of the circles and I kind of shadowed them. If you look really, really close, there is going to be another lighter color right here. I did that all the way around. Then I came back with a darker, and I offset the same stencil, so it almost looks like a shadow, but the darker blue is more prominent. It may not be too prominent here on video, but you can kind of see a little light colored shadow right there. And then I kept the stencil over, especially this one, and I took that numbered stamp out of the where Wings Wander. No, from the Stamped and Worn. and I stamped it. I had the stencil around and I stamped it through the stencil, and that gives me the stamped within that circle, and I would not stamp outside of that circle. So I placed the stencil down, took the stamp already inked, and stamped it within so the stencil got a lot inked on of the numbers, but that's where these numbers come through. It just gives it a little bit more visual texture. Just a little tip, thought you would like that. This is just a journal area. Inked the background of that with oxides and used that luscious, oh, look at these license plates. Use the luscious to give me the idea that you can. I used some glazed, distress glaze on that heart. This is a larger heart of the kit, and I used the glaze. Now the glaze is very slick. The rub-ons will not adhere to any slick surface. You got to give it a little bit of tooth. So I took a little bit of sandpaper and sanded it on top of the glaze when it was all done. And then I added the rub-on. That's the only way you're going to use that, is if you give that slick surface of some roughness, some tooth. You can do the same thing if you have a piece of metal and you want to put a rub on that. Put a light coat of collage medium over the top of that metal, and once it is dry, you can add the rub-on on also. That's the second tip, or you can use a sandpaper and use it and just sand that top of that metal. So there's a couple of different ways you can add a rub-on onto a slick surface. But isn't that just so cute? I love that. And this is my back cover. Just really wanted to show you that this was supposed to be a clipboard. And I just really wanted to, of course, in every notebook that we do, or journal, excuse me, every journal that we do, we need to put our name so everybody can know who did it. The rub-ons, it's just a nice little back inside cover. And there's the back. It really is very easy, gives you a lot of ideas, hopefully. And thank you so much. Let me know if you like this or not and what you liked about this video. And please subscribe and like down below. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.